Alright, I guess we're doing this. Hey guys, I'm Tanya, and until this moment right now, no one other than my best friend knew that I have social anxiety. I kinda touched on having anxiety on a video that I posted last year for BellLetsTalk Day, but I kinda kept it under this umbrella and I didn't really talk about it because I didn't feel like I was valid to do so. Because everyone knows me as the extroverted, outgoing, person who speaks at large crowds and groups and goes to VidCon type of person. But the truth is, I suffer from social anxiety every single day. But whenever I looked up videos online about social anxiety, it seemed that everyone was already shy and introverted. Not that that's a bad thing, but I'm extroverted and outgoing, so it didn't make sense to me on why I had social anxiety. So because I was such a completely different story from everyone, I felt invalid, and I felt like if I ever told anyone, they would say that I'm just nervous. It's weird because I can literally talk in front of a crowd of 3,000 people or a classroom of 50 people and feel fine about it. It's when I'm going to a get-together of like 20 people or even meeting 3 new people is when my anxiety goes through the roof. I think it's because when I'm talking to a crowd, I'm just the one talking, whereas in a smaller scenario, it's interacting and I have to talk to people, and that's why I get that social anxiety. But now I'm sitting here letting you guys know that if you suffer from depression, anxiety, or any other mental health illness, you are valid. It doesn't matter how different your experiences are from someone else's, and it's okay to admit it, and it's okay to seek help. It took me a long time to realize this, and I want you guys to know that you are valid no matter how different your story is. Now, no one but my best friend actually knew about this because, again, everyone knows me as someone who's never shy. But if you know me in real life and we've hung out multiple times, and you remember that one time I just really didn't talk at all, and you probably asked what was wrong, and I probably just said I was tired. I was having a social anxiety attack. It happens all the time, even when I'm with my really good friends, and I probably never expressed it to you because I always had that fear that I wasn't valid or that you would just say I'm being dramatic. One of the absolute worst nightmare scenarios for me, it's when you're going to hang out with 1 or 2 friends that you know very well, so they tell you they're gonna come pick you up, and when you get in the car, you realize there's 6 new people that you've never met before who are suddenly hanging out with you guys. Not that a car could fit 9 people, but just in the sense that I thought I was hanging out with 2 people, and then suddenly 6 people that I've never heard of before are suddenly hanging out with us. And I froze, I started sweating, I started thinking about everything they could have been thinking about me, and it's like you're cold, but at the same time you're sweating, and you just start panicking, and I was in such a scared environment because usually what I do is get out of the scenario and relax and chill because I'm better at controlling it now. But I was in a car, so much panic. So that's like the worst thing I could experience as someone who has social anxiety, and I thought I would tell you guys other stories that I've experienced because I can't really remember the first time I ever had social anxiety. So I just want to touch on the big events that happened last year. So side note, I experience social anxiety on a regular basis. Like if I'm leaving the house, I have social anxiety. So I've had a lot of these attacks in between the stories I'm about to tell you. Now the first major event of 2016 was the Academy Social Awards. It's a part of the Canadian Screen Awards, and I was actually nominated for an award, which was super rad because I was nominated alongside really amazing Canadian talent. But wait, alongside amazing Canadian talent? Then how did I fit in here? What did I do to deserve this? How can I be in this category? And suddenly all the anxiety starts. That entire night I had bursts of attacks everywhere. On the right there, walking in the front door, walking on the carpet. Now by 2016, I've been pretty good at controlling my anxiety. So during the show, I went to the washroom, chilled out, hung out for a little bit, and I was okay again. Until they started calling all of the winners for the categories. So with every category that came before mine, the host would read all of the nominees' names and everyone would clap after each name. And I was probably the 8th category, so after listening to 7 categories of people clapping to each person, I had so much social anxiety, thinking that no one would clap for me. Does anyone even know who I am? Why am I here? Like, no one knows who I am. I don't deserve this award. Like, it wasn't even a big deal if I didn't win because Michael Ritzy, who's also a Much creator, was in the same category as me, and we talked saying that we'd be so stoked if one of us took it home, like go Much team, like as long as Much takes it home, super rad. And when they called out my category's name, I was sweating so bad, my head was all over the place, I could barely think, everything was blurry. And then they called the 3rd nominee, which wasn't Michael or I, and they ended up winning, which is super rad for them, and it actually helped calm my anxiety a little bit. Now if you're wondering like, Tanya, why would you even go to these events with Much if you have social anxiety? Going to all of these events that Much has invited me to last year has really helped me me with the anxiety. Same with all the YouTube events. Every time I go to one, I get just a little bit better. And I know that sounds weird, but again, this is that whole me thinking that I was different from everyone else, so I can't have social anxiety thing. And compared to where it was even 3 years ago, it's a huge difference. So yes, I do absolutely love going to events, but keep that in mind as I'm going to talk about my next few stories. Next up, we've got the 2016 MMVAs, also known as the iHeartRadio Much Music Video Awards. This is literally unbiased, but it's my absolute favorite award show that airs on TV. It has been since I was a child, and now that I'm actually signed into their roster at Much Music, I got to attend the MMVAs, which was so exciting. And finally, a little 10-year-old excited me, also equally excited 20-year-old me, was going to experience the MMVAs. But wait, I was going on a red carpet, I'd be wearing heels. What if I trip? What if no one wears heels? What if I'm the only one wearing a black dress? So knowing that I would most definitely have a social anxiety attack at the MMVAs, I really tried to spend my whole morning being as relaxed as possible. Took a bath, ate a great breakfast, got ready very slow, wasn't in a hurry, making sure I was in the calmest element I could be entering the MMVAs. Then when I checked the time, I realized I had to go, and I still didn't paint my nails yet. So I literally brought my nail polish into my ride to the MMVAs, which was really hard, but I just didn't let anyone look at my hand up close. So when we pulled up, I didn't initially see any of the Much creators, and my anxiety started again. I spent the whole day trying to prevent this, but then when I found all of the creators and the coordinators at Much, I felt a little better. I cannot even begin to tell you how much sweat was coming off of my body. So when the time came to walk the carpet, how do I explain this? It was the most unreal, coolest thing I've ever done in the history of things I've ever done. But at the same time, a part of me was like, panic, 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 something's wrong, which was really annoying because this was everything I've ever dreamed of doing. But still, that little part of my head was telling me that someone's judging me off to the side of the red carpet. And when we got off the carpet and we were waiting to go inside the Much building, suddenly everything was calm again. But having all of the Much creators around me really helped me feel like I was in a comfortable space. And I was okay again for the rest of the MMVAs, which was super rad. The next event that was literally right after the MMVAs was VidCon. Now, I don't usually get anxiety attacks at VidCon for some reason, because it's also like my safe zone, because it's YouTube and it's like the big event of the year. But this year, I actually had a couple social anxiety attacks. I was rooming with Shyla, Emmy, and Nicole, and I know them all really well. But sometimes I get really bad anxiety even with people I know. This was my first year sharing a room with someone other than just Shyla, so because it was a packed room, my social anxiety started happening again. And I got really quiet. I didn't really want to spend time with them, which I felt really bad about, but I had to get away, be on my own, clear my head, and it's just so hard because I literally know these guys so well, but they still gave me social anxiety, and it's not like it's their fault. It was just me creating problems that aren't actually problems. But other than that, don't really find anxiety at VidCon. Then came a spontaneous trip to Vancouver with my YouTube friend Kiara. So Kiara decided that we should go to a gay club. Ooh, side note, I just remembered this. Kiara was actually the first person to ever take me to a gay club. I had just met her that day, knew nothing about her, and she's like, hey, let's go to a gay club. And I was like, oh, okay. I had really bad social anxiety that night, but I had been to a bunch of other gay clubs since, so I figured I'd be fine. Didn't think anything of it, till we walked in the doors and suddenly it happened again. I had a social anxiety attack. So I immediately told them I had to go to the washroom and that I'd meet up with them later, thinking that I could let them go have fun while I sit in the washroom and calm myself down. Like an unnecessarily long amount of time. When I came out, I realized that Kiara and her brother were literally waiting for me outside of the washroom that entire time. So I felt really bad about that, and they probably thought I was taking a giant dump. But oh, I was just having a good old social anxiety attack. And then lastly, the most recent thing that's happened was actually just a few days ago when my city put on this LGBTQ plus club night thing at a nightclub. I really want to go because LGBTQ plus events are very rare in my city. And one of my really good friends that I haven't talked to since high school actually messaged me and said that he was going to a pre-party that I was welcome to join. He was like, there's gonna be so many hot girls, you gotta come, you're gonna love it. And as amazing as all of that sounded, the only words I really heard was that there was gonna be 30 people at this pre-party that I didn't know other than him. So I laid on the floor of my room having an anxiety attack, not knowing whether I should go or not, and in the end I decided that I wouldn't go, which I regret, but I can't help help when my anxiety takes over and makes decisions for me. Doesn't matter how good of friends we are, I get those anxiety attacks all the time. Like I said, they're more likely to happen when I'm in a smaller environment with less people. So maybe that's why they never occur during the whole award shows that I went to or all of VidCon, because they were always large groups of people. 3 years ago, I had social anxiety over everything. I would hate talking in front of classrooms in high school and university. And now I finally battled that whole big crowd thing, and I'm only experiencing it on a lower level now, or a smaller level, which I think is huge progress for me. And not to mention that I've been experiencing social anxiety since 2nd or 3rd grade, which brings me all the way back around to today. Today is BellLetsTalk Day. BellLetsTalk Day was created by the company Bell, where they donate 5 cents to mental health illnesses for every text message sent, call sent, hashtag made on Twitter. So if you're a Bell customer and you text somebody today, that's 5 cents that they're sending towards mental health initiatives. Or include the hashtag BellLetsTalk in every single tweet you tweet today. As I said in my video last year, which I'll also link down below, mental illness is not something that we should just talk about on BellLetsTalk Day. We have to keep the conversation alive. Mental illness is a real thing, and if you're like me, where you feel like your story is too different from someone who has anxiety, you are valid, and it's worth talking about to someone. There is help. I'll put a whole bunch of helpful links down below. Feel free to share your story in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to respond to all of you. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for putting me in the position where I have the opportunity to go to VidCon, to meet you guys at VidCon, to do all of these cool events that slowly help me with my anxiety. Just thank you. So remember, text your friend, call your mom, hashtag BellLetsTalk. Let's beat the record for last year of how many tweets are made with the hashtag. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to me if you're new. Give this video a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time with a brand new video. Bye!